Okay, looks like we're good to go. Hey everyone, welcome to today's webinar, Getting the Most from Your Reporting, Magical Tips, Tricks and Spells. My name's Jim Turner. I'm the CEO of Customer Thermometer. We really do appreciate your attendance and time today. Just so you can plan your day a little better, the webinar is about 30 minutes long with some time added at the end for questions. It is being recorded. We will circulate the recording to everyone that's registered. We do actually have a reporting pack that we've put together for you guys as well. So we'll send that with the recording and you can forward on to any colleagues that couldn't attend today. As I mentioned, there will be time for questions at the end. You should be able to see a Q&A pop up in your Zoom taskbar. So please do throw any of your questions in there. We'll make sure we get to them at the end and they can be answered by Lily or anyone from the team. So I think we're ready to kick off. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Lily Blanchet. She's run our award-winning help desk, the Ministry of Magic, for 2 years now. And what she doesn't know about Customer Thermometer simply is not worth knowing. So over to you, Lily.
Hello everyone, it's lovely to meet you all. My name is Lily and as Jim said, I'm head of the Customer Thermometer support team here. And today we'll be running through the reporting. So just taking you through how to get the most out of it and really utilising different areas of it. So what I'm going to do before we really take a deep dive into the reporting is just look at a couple of setup bits and pieces just to make sure that you're really in the best place. So to start off with, we're going to have a look at our custom field data. So to really get the most out of Customer Thermometer and its reporting, we'd really suggest utilising your custom fields wherever possible. So we can pull through data such as agent name, ticket number. There are a couple there on the screen there in pink. And we can pull these from your CRM systems, help desks, ticketing systems, and your blast lists to help create some really lovely reports. If you're using Gmail and Outlook, I do understand that maybe these custom fields you can't get hold of them. However, you can capture sender details and still create some lovely reports with that. So with that in mind, we'll be looking at our reporting, especially taking great detail in looking at how we can utilize those custom fields. The second part of our setup we're going to look at today briefly before we start is just our team thermometer setup. So we have two options on the screen. The first one is per team and the second one is one thermometer per person. So I'd always encourage you to think about what you want to achieve and what data you'd like to see in your reporting. The reporting does differ slightly between which setup you choose. So if you're ever unsure what one to go with, please just let the Ministry of Magic know and we'll help you figure out the best setup for you. As Jim has said earlier, this is being recorded so you can come back here and take a look at the differences in that reporting later on. So now we're going to head straight into our reporting. So the first thing we're going to look at today is our mission control or our main dashboard. So firstly, when you log into your account, you're going to see your mission control or dashboard page. And this gives you an awesome snapshot of all of your data across all your thermometers instantly right there. So whether you have 5 embedded thermometers or maybe 6 email thermometers, all your data will be pulled together and combined here. Now, you actually do have the option to remove certain thermometers if you wish and add thermometers. So I'm just going to move my mouse on the screen and then hopefully where you can see I'm pointing, we have some white arrows here. If you click them, you'll be able to select and deselect certain thermometers, which then will update this dashboard correlating with those. So a great example of how you can use the mission control is say you wanted to have a look at your stats within maybe the last 24 hours. You come to the top and you would select 24 hours from your time range, and then mission control will give you a snapshot of real-time comments, varying metrics, improvements and declines from now and the previous period, all in one place. So this is really your first point of call for your CSAT results. Now, if you wanted to take a deeper look into your reporting, you would need to head over to your reporting tab, which is at the top here where I'm pointing. And once you open that, you'll go into your reporting overview. So your reporting overview is really the home of all of your reporting. It's where you can use that granular data using your custom fields and create some really awesome detailed reports. This overview is split up into 3 sections. So at the top, you're going to have your email thermometer blast summaries, your embedded thermometer blast summaries, and then at the bottom, you're going to have this live feed. And what the live feed does is it just pulls in all your responses across all your thermometers. So if you wanted to just come in here and have a look at maybe the last 10 or 20, you can just scroll right down to the bottom of that page. And you can also click through to your thermometers from there as well. So to actually take a deeper look at a specific thermometer or blast, what you would do is you'd come into this area and then you would select your thermometer name or blast name. And these will always be in this pink text here. So once you've done that, you'll be taken to your blast breakdown screen. So as we can see, it's given us a lovely overview of this specific thermometer or blast. So it doesn't include any other thermometer or blast data. It's only the thermometer that you've selected. And it will give you a lovely detailed, concentrated view of your blast. From here, you can actually export data to manipulate it offline using the export button. And you can also save this as a PDF. As you can see, there's some really lovely graphs here. So our metrics, we can see our satisfaction ratings, our happiness factor, our temperature, and also our NPS score, if you of course have that enabled. Just to run through, our happiness factor is based on your gold plus green responses divided by the number of total responses. And your temp track, what we do there is we add a value, we assign a value to red, amber, green, and gold, and then we divide that by the total number of responses you've received. You're really going to want to aim for around 60% or above, as that means that your customers are universally satisfied. So that's a really nice metric to just focus on. At the bottom there, we've also got our live comments coming in. Now, from this overview, if you really wanted to have a look at that custom field data I was talking about earlier, so those ticket numbers, agent names, the recipient details, what we need to do is we need to go to our responses tab, which is right next to our overview here. And this will take us to our blast breakdown by recipient, or our responses tab. So what this is a list of all of our responses, including that custom field data. So those agent names, ticket numbers, etc. And from here, what you can do is you can filter on. So if you wanted to just see all red, you can filter on all your red responses or all your gold responses, and then have a look at those recipients' email addresses, first and last names, the agent who dealt with it. So then you can quickly action that. You can also see here, we've got our little pink speech bubbles. So if you click on one of those, it will just appear with your comment from that customer in a nice little kind of pop-up bubble. So leading on from our comments, we're going to have a look at our main comments reporting. So to get into this area, we will need to click our main reporting tab once more, and then we would click our comments here. So this will show you your comments across all of your thermometers, so all your embedded and email thermometers. You can also filter on ratings associated with comments here. So if you specifically wanted to look at all your red ratings with comments attached, you can filter for that in this area, as well as gold, amber, and green, for example. A lovely feature on here is our word cloud, which you can see in my screenshot. So this actually comprises of the most common keywords across all your comments. So it's a lovely little visual graph there. Another really useful thing in your comments reporting is actually the comment visibility management. This is really important if you're using widgets. So we do supply a comments widget, which is basically a live report which shows all your recent comments. We actually have one on our website if you're interested in looking at what that looks like. But the reason we have the management there is because maybe a recipient has typed in the comment their personal details, like a phone number or an email address. And if you have this widget displayed on an external website, you may not want that to be viewable. So then you can come into this comments area and then just turn that off, the visibility for that comment off. So that's a really handy piece of functionality to have. So moving on from our comments, you'll see at the top as we go along, we're actually just following this line across here. So that's how we're making our way through. The next thing we're going to have a look at is our report maker. So with our report maker, we can create a report comparing data within a certain time frame using 1, 2, or multiple thermometers to review trends and variances. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to jump into customer thermometer now for you. So I'm just going to stop sharing my presentation and we're just going to jump into customer thermometer and have a look at this specific report. So bear with me one moment. Okay, so hopefully you should be able to see my screen and we've got customer thermometer up. So once again, I've logged in and I've come straight to that mission control, so straight to that dashboard. We would need to go to our reporting, head to our report maker at the top. So I'm just gonna my notes. So on the side here, you will have your list of thermometers. And today we're going to have a look at our Zendesk Help Desk thermometer. You can hold down the control button and select multiple thermometers, and you can also deselect this way as well. But today we're just going to look at our Zendesk Help Desk thermometer. You would choose your date range that you're going to look at. So I will do that quickly. And then you can hit generate ribbon. Now what this will do, it will produce your first slice of metrics. Then if you scroll down underneath, you have the option to produce your second slice. So once again, you can select multiple. It doesn't have to be the same one. I'm going to click the same one for this example. I'm just going to pop in our date range. We're going to generate that second ribbon. So that's our top one. And we've got our bottom one below. So it is easy just to compare by scrolling up and down. But if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll actually see we have a variance report here, which will just show us our different stats, comparing the differences between those two time ranges, which is really, really important and is a great piece of functionality, especially if you're looking specifically at year-on-year stats, month-on-month, or even week-on-week. If you have multiple thermometers for departments, so if you've got a sales thermometer, a customer service thermometer, you can certainly use this tool to come in here, maybe select your customer service thermometer, select your date range maybe from last month, the month before, and then this month, and then just have a look at the progress and see how that team is doing. So that's another really great report. So I'm just going to stop sharing my screen now, and we're just going to jump straight back into our presentation. Okay, awesome. Okay. Okay, great. So the next thing we're going to have a look at today is our targets. So from here, you can actually set 5 KPI targets. So that's the number of ratings you've received, happiness factor, temperature rating, average NPS, and your disappointed/negative responses. So you'll be able to set your targets in these little white boxes as shown in our screenshot. And then the boxes below, which we can see are green and red, they will change depending on whether you're meeting that target or not. And it will state what you need to get to in order to meet that target, or how much you've exceeded that target by. So this is great for managers just to keep up to see if they're hitting those scores and where they need to improve. Your historical data section is below, and basically this rolls up your data month on month. So below you can just see how you're doing as you progress throughout the year. And then we're going to move on to the report by date. So this is a lovely report, and it's exactly what it says on the tin. It's basically kind of acts like a mini main dashboard. So from here, you are allowed to look at a specific date range for a specific thermometer over a time frame. So from here, what we can do is we can actually export that data again and manipulate it in Excel if you wish. And you can also save as a PDF and send it across to managers or a team leader, as it's a very lovely visual report as well. And of course, we have our key metrics there again. So our happiness factor, our temperature rating, our NPS if you do have that enabled, and also our percentage split of responses by type. So this is a really useful report if anyone's running the same survey repeatedly to the same set of customers or running a long-term embedded thermometer. So we're going to move on to our next one, which is the league tables and leaderboards. And this is actually my favorite report. I think it's very pretty and very useful. So it's really awesome at looking at individual or team stats. So you can create a report per thermometer or across multiple thermometers if you wish. And you can filter on any custom field that you would like to create a leaderboard. So we're actually going to have a look at one now in customer thermometer as well. So just swap my screen. Oh, bear with me 1 second. Okay, great. So we're going to come out of our report maker we were looking at earlier, and then we are going to head to our league tables, which is at the top here. So once again, this is a really great report for looking at individual or team stats. So what we're first going to have a look at is our individual tech stats and just create a lovely leaderboard on our agents. So what I'm going to do, just for reference, is on another page, I have our reporting, and I'm just going to go into our Outlook thermometer and our responses. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I'm going to want to know what custom field my tech names are held in. So here we have our tech names or our agent names, their email addresses and their department. So I'm going to want to look at custom 1. So if you pop back into our league table report, we're going to want to make sure that we've selected custom 1 and also whatever date range that you're going to want to look at. You can then either, once again, select one thermometer or use the control button to select multiple. Today, I'm just going to select the Outlook. You can then hit generate report, and we can see it's produced a lovely report with all of our agents there on the left-hand side, with a total of how many golds, greens, ambers, and reds that they've received, and their total responses, individual NPS, and temperature. So you can filter this using the pink arrows in alphabetical order if that's easier for you. You can also filter the golds and the greens and the ratings. So if you want to see who's receiving the most reds, maybe that person just needs a little bit more support with their training. So it's a great way to just kind of see maybe who might need a little bit more support, or even who's getting the most golds and who might be worthy of a little kind of team reward or something like that. So that's one way to use the league tables. And I'm just going to show you another way. So we're going to go back into that league table report, going to select your date range. And now what we're going to look at is the departments if you're using multiple departments within one thermometer. So as you can see within my Outlook signature thermometer, I have a load of different departments here, just so I can keep track of who's in who. So we can see that that's in custom 3. So we're going to come into our league tables. We're going to want to select custom 3. And our Outlook thermometer once more. We're going to generate our report. And then here we can see our teams all separated out. So we can see how many goals customer service has, for example, and their individual temperature against sales and accounts, for example. So you can also export this as well and share with team leaders or managers. I really love this report. I think it's super handy and a great one to just dip into every now and again, just to see how your individual agents are doing. So we are now going to jump back into our presentation. And the next thing we're going to have a look at is our Temp Track. So this is also a really great report for drilling down on specific data points. And you can view a report showing all responses relating to certain company domains, email addresses, or even agent names. So it's really good for drilling down on those specific points. If you're looking to collect a report on a specific company, just to make sure overall that they're doing okay, you can do that using this report. So I'm just going to take you through that one as well. So we're going to jump back into our customer thermometer, head to our reporting area, and then we are going to go to our Temp Track. So there's 3 different examples I want to show you here of how you can search for things. So first off, what we're going to do is we're going to search for a specific customer. So we're going to pop in our date range that we're looking for. I'm going to search for this specific customer's email address. So I'm going to pick email address from this drop down. I'm going to look for the responses received, so the ones we've received from this customer. And I'm going to look for Anna from FlexTax. I click generate report. And then underneath, we've got a lovely report showing Anna's specific data. So these are all graphs specific to her and her responses to the service that we've provided her so far. Underneath, you'll see the thermometers that she's linked to, and you can also view her comments here as well. You can export this data also. So if you think, actually, okay, I've seen how Anna's doing here, I really want to see how everyone's doing at FlexTax, what you can do is you can actually search on the domain, but you must make sure that you enter an asterisk before searching on the domain, otherwise it won't bring up the data that you need. So you must type in an asterisk and then have the @ and the domain. You can leave this as email address, that's absolutely fine. We'll generate our report once more. And then we can see we've got a brand new report based off everyone with that domain. So we've not just got Anna here, we've got John, Christopher, and all of their responses as well, and times and thermometers and blast that we can actually jump into. So if I actually wanted to just jump into the blast, I could click this and it'll take me right to that blast breakdown report we looked at earlier. So we can also export this as well. And this report, I think, being able to export on a customer basis is, or a company basis, sorry, is really important. Especially for maybe account management. So if you specifically have a company that you need to check in with, it's a really great resource to download this report, share it with an account manager so they can actually review this with their clients, just to see that you're meeting their requirements and just to make sure that they're overall happy. So this is a great report for any type of account management. Another thing I'm going to show you on here is actually how to look at a specific tech. So to do that, we need to go to our custom one, because we know that's where we've got our tech names saved in our reporting. And then I'm going to type in Tom Davies, because I know that he's a technician. We're going to generate our report. And then underneath, we've got all of our responses that have ever come in relating to Tom, and also a nice breakdown of his own report of the responses that he's received. So that's just a really great example to jump into as well. So now we're going to go back into our PowerPoint. And that is actually the last of the reports we're going to run through today. However, we do have one exciting thing that we've left right to the very end, and this is called our ribbon. So this is a sneak preview of a brand new reporting feature we have coming out within the next week or so. And as I've mentioned, it's called Ribbon, and it's basically used to harness all sorts of different personalized reports from your reporting suite and have them in your mission control. So this is actually going to appear on your mission control at the very, very top. So this will help you build things like mini leaderboards, as we can see in the example, and specific reports based on CSAT and NPS. So we'll be sending you out some more details as soon as this is live, but I really wanted to share this with you on this a presentation today, because we're very excited about it. And as you can see here, we've got our satisfaction ratings for certain thermometers. So on the right hand side, you can pick all thermometers or specific thermometers. You can name it and you can filter on certain things. So once again, if we wanted at the top a graph just on our sales team, we can build that here. So when we go into our mission control, when we first log in, we can instantly see, okay, how's the sales team doing? The same with our leaderboard. So there's one here for our techs. So you can choose a specific maybe thermometer or look across all your thermometers to build a mini leaderboard of your techs. So you can come in, have a quick snapshot of who's doing the best there. So I'm very excited to share this with you today, but this does now conclude our presentation. So there are many different ways that you can use Customer Thermometer and its reporting. If you have something specific in mind that you didn't see today, please just let us know, and I'm sure that we can find a way to use the reporting to achieve what you're looking for. And now I'm going to open the floor to any questions. As Jim mentioned at the beginning, we do have a Q&A button there, so if you have any questions, please do feel free to pop them in.